nether portals. They are really loud. And a bunch of mobs can come through them when you're not looking. But what if I told you there was a way we could turn them off and on and hide them away so that people didn't know where your nether portal was, mobs don't come through them, and so they stop making an annoying noise. Five by 5 hidden nether portal, flush with the wall, hell yeah. So you probably want to build this in your world, so if we look at the redstone at the back you can see how much space you're going to kind of need. You only have to go 4 blocks back from the 5 by 5 portal here, and you just use a bunch of slime and honey. We'll go through the amount of resources you need in a little bit, but I just want to show you some of the redstone first. So how do you make something like this work? If I go around this side, you can see there's a dispenser here above a piston, so I'm going to take the fire charge out of that, because when we open up our door, these dispensers come up, and because there's a torch next to it, it will turn on this dispenser, and that puts out flint and steel, which lights the portal. Then on the other side, we've got one with water in it, because water breaks the portal. So we just use this redstone and then a repeater to activate these 2 observers, which makes the redstone go off twice and makes this dispenser shove out water and pull it back. Then we turn off the pistons that are holding the dispensers up to move them out of the way. And that's because we then use these sets of pistons at top to push pillars of slime and honey blocks in, which push these blocks in here. And the dispensers would get stuck to the slime and honey otherwise, which tends to cause issues, so that's why we move them out of the way. And then these blocks will get pushed in like that by the slime and honey, and they'll get pulled back by them. And then we just have some pistons at the front that pull these blocks down. So that's how it works. What are the exact resources you need? Well, if we look in this chest, you need 14 redstone dust, 13 redstone repeaters, 5 redstone torches, 2 observers, 2 dispensers, 12 slime blocks and 8 honey blocks, and you could also swap this for 12 honey blocks and 8 slime blocks. And almost forgot, but we need 28 obsidian as well, and we also need 1 target block. And lastly, you're going to need a water bucket and a flint and steel for destroying and lighting the portal. So the first thing you're going to want to do when building this is work out where you want your portal. So we just build 5 blocks up, and then we've got a corner, and we go 5 blocks across. Then we've got our top corner, and we go 5 blocks across. Then we go 5 blocks down on the final side, and then we've got our 5 by 5 square of portal. So the first thing we're going to place is if we go 1 block below the portal, we'll place some blocks, and that means that we can place some pistons, so you'd probably be digging into floor. And you're only going to have to dig 1 block into the floor for this, but you'll also need some blocks underneath to have redstone on top of, so really it's 2 blocks underneath the floor. And there'll be blocks on top of these to cover up the front of the door. Next we'll put our dispensers in, so if I go to the left side I'll place a block, and then the other side I'll place a block as well. And we'll put dispensers on top of those. Then if we go underneath the block, we need to place a piston aiming upwards, and then we'll remove the block, because these pistons need to pull and push the dispensers. So like that. So now our slime and honey and the pistons for those, so what we do with the dispensers, we'll go 2 blocks backwards out the back of them, and then we'll place sticky pistons 2 blocks high all along the back from side to side, so it covers the entire side. Then we'll destroy these blocks. And then we just start doing pillars, so I do a pillar of slime blocks up to the height of the gap in the portal, because they'll get pushed to here, which pushes the block to here. So then we do honey blocks and slime blocks, and you have to switch between them because they can't push or pull each other, and pistons can only push up to 12 things at once, so that's why we have to alternate between them. And then we'll just put in our blocks. So I'm not actually going to put the water in the dispenser first. What I'm going to do is put 2 items in, because the dispenser that dispenses the water needs to put water down and then take it back. So if we test it by putting 2 items in it and seeing if they get thrown out, that will be a good test to see if the dispenser is working properly. So I've just put 2 redstone torches in. So for redstone, the first thing I'm going to do is go to the right side and the bottom piston at the front, and we'll do a block to the side, and then we do redstone, and then we do another block across with redstone. Then next to the piston here, we're going to do a block and do redstone aiming to the other side into a block. Then we do a block underneath that block, next to the next piston, and then a block next to the fourth piston with redstone in between. Then on the other side we do a block, and we're going to have to remove this block here actually, because we need to place a repeater here. And then a block here, so that gets powered by the redstone. Repeater goes into a block, and then we do a block next to this piston with redstone that gets powered by the repeater. So that'll do all the front pistons. Next to do dispenser, we do another block going across here with a repeater, and it's on 3 ticks, so 1 from the end. Then we do an observer aiming up above this redstone into the obsidian of the portal. Then 1 above the repeater with a redstone on top, and the redstone will be powered through this obsidian by this observer, then this one after the repeater goes off. And that does the 2 items. So we can test this now, just check that 2 items come out. So if I flick the lever, you can see that the 2 torches came out, and then we'll turn it off again. So for pushing and pulling the dispensers, we go to back again, and from this repeater, we go into a block, then block to the side with a repeater, and again it's on 3 ticks, so 1 from the end, going into a block. Then there's a torch next to this piston, a redstone torch. Then next to that torch, we do a repeater, aiming into a block next to this piston. Okay, so this torch, when it turns off, will pull these dispensers down. But we need them to stay down for longer than the rest of the door. So what we actually do is we go on the side, we do blocks around. First a repeater aiming into a block. Then on the other side, we do a redstone dust. And then we do a repeater aiming into this one. And this repeater is also on 3 ticks, so 1 from the end, and this one just leave it as default. And that will keep this repeater on for 3 ticks longer, which delays the dispensers enough for everything to fold away before they come back up. So next, to power all our pistons at the back to push the blocks in, we do a torch on top of this block in the corner. And we'll turn our lever back off. Then we do a torch to the side, and that should be off right now. Next, under all the slime and honey blocks, we're going to place a bunch of obsidian. Then going into that obsidian, we have blocks below them. And that's because there's repeaters along all of these. Then we do 3 blocks in the middle and do redstone on those. Now we use our target block next to this redstone to power the last repeater. And that's just because on the other side we have a redstone torch on this obsidian. Then a block with a repeater going into a block here. So if this block here was a redstone, this repeater would power it and create this sort of thing that keeps turning on and off. So that's why we have to use target block here to make sure that this redstone powers that repeater and that block. So above this block we just placed, we do a torch, that should be off. Block above it, and then blocks along all the back pistons with redstone on them. And that's because these blocks at the front get powered first, but there's nothing there, so they don't do anything. Then these pistons at the back get powered, push everything out. Then the bottom pistons move to here and push out. But because they came on first, they'll turn off first, and then the back pistons pull everything back. And the last thing we're going to need is next to our dispenser, which is going to have the flint and steel in it, we're going to place a block and a redstone torch. And for testing as well, I'll just put 1 item in this instead of making it like the portal, just to make sure it's working. And that should be our entire door done. So if we pull the lever, all comes out, and if we turn it off, comes back, and our lever gets thrown out. So we'll now do a proper test, put the flint and steel in the dispenser on the left, put the water bucket in the dispenser on the right, turn it on, you can see the water comes out and goes away, blocks come out, then when we fold it back, portal lights, and then it should go away. There we go. Alright, hope you enjoyed this and find this build cool. I've also got smaller versions if you don't want to build one quite this big. They're in the Minecraft console tutorials playlist I've got on my channel. You can also check out the world download and structure files for anything I built in this world. The download link is in the description on Planet Minecraft, or maybe the comments. And I've also got a Patreon if you want to be generous and throw some money at my stupid face. Anyway, I've been Idendied, and I'll see you in the next one.